Don't you feel me crying? I'm washed away by the fall. Every day it feels like I'm dying. The waves crash my back to the wall. 8 hours since the first drop fell, and 8 hours sinking alone. I wish someone would reach out for me and heat this chill in my bones. Today it feels like the darkness wins. Tomorrow who knows what'll come. Struggling to keep my head above water, but my waterfalls aren't done. Don't you feel me crying? I'm washed away by the falls. Every day it feels like I'm dying. The waves crash my back to the walls. I'm washed, I'm washed, I'm washed away by the rain. Ooh, they feel so much pain. Make the sky fall down, make the sky fall down on me. Yeah. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, yeah.
I am not a superhero. I am not someone you call in your time of need. I am sick and broken, and some would say beyond repair. Yet the world has stressed these things upon me. My name is Arial Hunter. I am not your superhero. I am a criminal, an assassin, a gangster. Yet I am a woman hiding in plain sight. All I ever wanted to do was play the violin and make my father happy. Before he died, life I knew it was quite magical. I lived in a mansion. I never knew hunger, cold, violence, or neglect. But because my father dealt in violence, and I wouldn't know that for years, the first 10 years of my life were blissfully ignorant. My mother was his angel, who ruled the home with a firm but loving hand. Cain and Elizabeth bore 3 sons before me: Samuel, Tony, and Drew. Samuel was the academic and accountant in training. Tony was the muscle, and Drew was their heir apparent. I was the apple of all their eyes. Then one Christmas night, on my 10th birthday, it all came crashing down around me. Now I sleep in the day and stalk my demons in the night. I vowed the night my family died, I would find every last one of the men responsible. So I played the biggest halls and the most decadent of private parties on the violin. No one seems to see me. In my whole life, I've never cared about living or dying, just making those who make me sick and broken pay. And then there was Matthew, and everything started to change. It was a private party for some Hollywood types, a few politicians, some mobsters, wannabe actresses looking to fuck their way to the top. I was there to entertain, make some easy cash before moving on to my next target. I'm a curvy girl, and the purple sparkly dress with the slit in just the right place definitely caught everyone's eye. The senator basically eyeball fucked me in front of everyone, and the mobsters had that hungry look. I'd been through this before. I could have given a shit. I wasn't on the menu, and the host, Matthew Childe, made it clear I wasn't. At functions, I tended to let the music take me away. Matthew had the command of the room. I didn't really know who he was, but no matter where he moved in the room, he had his eye on me. Usually my guard would be up, but the look in his eyes was different from the others when he laid them on me. Sure, he was flirting, but it was free from the smarm that coated the others in the room. It seemed we were two different peas in a pod. Mickey Tilford, a Hollywood giant and notorious rapist, was in the room, and he always had his eye on me all night. Even with the gorgeous starlets grinding on him, he was always looking at me. My wheels were already turning as I thought about the pistol strapped to my inner thigh. Mickey had victimized countless dreamers. I had been victimized by his type enough in my lifetime to know what he was thinking. Hollywood seemed to be complicit. I didn't want to be alone with him, but I wanted him just as dead as any of his victims did. Finally, the hour grew late, even for most of the slime in the room. For most. As everyone retired to their corner of the world, I began to pack up. That was when I overheard raised voices. One of them was Matthew Childe, the other, Mickey Tilford. Matthew was trying to remain calm, but he was losing it. And Mickey, he was the same asshole I could only assume he always was. You had most of the eager of beautiful starlets catering to all of your depraved appetites. I'm not handing over the classiest broad in the joint just so you can traumatize her. You listen to me, child. I can destroy you. You give me the dead mobster's daughter, or you'll never make another movie again. Even your power has its limits. Arial Hunter is a decent human being. I won't have you crapping all over what is a hard-won normal life for her. I've seen you watching her all night. What gives? You want her? My mother was her nanny. She stayed with us for a few months after her family was murdered in front of her. I promised my mother on her deathbed that Ariel will never suffer like that again. I intend to keep that promise. Now you chew on that while you walk out of the fucking door. You could have heard a pin drop. I remembered Sophia. I vaguely remembered sleeping in a teenage boy's lap because he made me feel safe. Her son, Arik Matthew. Now he was still defending my honor. As an assassin, there wasn't much honor left in me. But as Mickey stormed past me, muttering in Greek, I looked towards the kitchen entrance. There stood the man I knew as Maddie. Our eyes met, those dark, deep blue as the ocean eyes, that clean-cut, thick black hair, lean and muscular frame. It was as if time stood still. I didn't remember much about those months at Sophia's. Just that the time spent in Maddie's presence was the only time I felt normal, whatever that meant. He stopped inches from me. Maddie? I was wondering how long it would take for you to remember. I wasn't entirely sure that you would. His accent was reminder enough. I could hear gunshots from that awful night, hiding as the house burned to the ground. Suddenly I was transported back in time, and I could hear his voice shouting for me. Ariel! Ariel! It was you, I said, realizing with a start that it was him that had raced into the house and saved me that night. Mom would have kept you and raised you, but the court, well, we all know what the court did. Yes, we do. You know my history, to some extent anyway. Why did you call me classy? Those starlets and whores grinding on the senator and Tilford like to use their bodies to get ahead. And really, there's no shame in that, but you have a higher calling. A higher calling? I laughed. If you knew what I did or anything about what I live for, you'd run screaming from me. I don't think so. You live for vengeance. You don't care if you live or die. This shell is striking, beautiful, breathtaking, but the heat you're packing on your inner thigh tells me tonight is just a diversion. That somewhere in the coming days, the real reason you're here in Santa Monica will die, and then you'll be on your way. Why'd you put yourself between me and Tilford? I asked dryly. Matthew stepped closer, because I want to help you, and I needed you to trust me. Trust that I wouldn't sell you out to any of the slime balls in the room tonight. And to understand, I remember finding you. I remember your innocence being stolen. And I remember the tears when you were ripped from my mother's arms. I've been searching for you for what seems like an eternity. So what now? That's up to you. Interesting. Why do you say that? I see desire in your eyes, but I see sincerity too. He quieted and went still. He touched my face with his fingertips. I feel like I've been waiting for a missing part of me to return all my life. I'm a self-appointed assassin, and I'm a Hollywood director. He cradled my cheek and ran his thumb over my lips. My pulse quickened, my blood pounded in my ears. My body craved the promise of his touch. And then he kissed my neck with soft, lingering kisses until he reached my mouth. Our lips parted, and we pulled each other close. As he deepened the kiss, I twined my fingers through his hair. It wasn't like I've never been kissed before, but I was only 25 years old, and my experiences had been relegated to the purely physical. I felt something special with Matthew. Not since had I lost my family had I felt such a connection to anyone. And there and then, I knew Matthew Childe was dangerous to my mission, but I couldn't care less and let his kiss carry me away.